Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, a very warm welcome to the concluding press conference of the 2008 International Transport Forum. I don't have to introduce the speakers here, you all have met them. As the opening of yesterday, we have the Finnish president with us, we have the German minister with us, and we have our Secretary General with us. At the beginning, I'd like to give you some rather technical information about the forum, and for this I switch into German. The whole press conference will be translated in all four conference languages: English, German, French and Russian, on the same channels as you had them during the whole 3 days.
On the first World Transport Forum 2006, 900 participants attended the forum from 53 nations. Our member states were present. The observers, and for the first time India also attended the forum with an official delegation. More than 100 media were present from a total of 12 states. And we'll make sure that the World Transport Forum will earn world renown. I'd like to thank you in advance. I'd like to pass the floor to the Finnish President, Finnish Minister of Transport, Mrs. Vehviläinen.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry that we are a little bit late. It's a great pleasure for me as a president of the forum to present you the results of our first International Transport Forum meeting. First, I'm very pleased to say that the forum meeting was a great success. I am certain that the forum has now proved its value as a dynamic platform for discussions on transport policy questions at global level. Our first meeting under the theme Climate Change was very productive. The discussions reflected well the importance of actions that are necessary to abate climate change. This was the first time ever that the transport sector has discussed this topic on such a scale geographically and also covering all modes of transport. This was a very important step. Now let me share with you the key messages that the forum ministers wish to convey. We have to have a strategic approach which brings together the instruments on technology and policy. The approach must also be coherent at all levels and both within and across modes. Secondly, we have to take short-term measures that are not so expensive. These include, for example, eco-driving and better tires. Then, we need to turn greater attention to new technologies and systems that can break our dependence on oil. Many of our traditional transport policies already help to reduce CO2 emissions. Congestion reduction policies support of public transport investments in environmentally friendly modes. Also, we have to work on all levels of government: international, national, regional and local. Finally, we want to send a clear message to other global forums, for example, the International Maritime Organization, International Civil Aviation Organization and the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe. The key messages are generally supported by the member countries. We are aware that we have a huge challenge ahead of us in the transport sector, but we are all committed to work towards our very ambitious goal, low carbon future for transport. I was very pleased to see such a high-level attendance from the industry and other stakeholders at the meetings. All the panel discussions and the keynote speakers during these 3 days have been of outstanding quality. I can say that we have now laid a solid foundation for the future work of the Forum. Thank you for your attention, and now I would like to give the floor to my colleague, Wolfgang Tiefensee.
Ladies and President, Madam President and Jack Short, ladies and gentlemen, are the microphones working? Can you hear us well? Everything is fine? I would like, first of all, to apologize for being late at the press conference, and I plead guilty. The two persons had to wait because I was to attend an important Bundestag session this morning on the privatization of the Deutsche Bahn, the railway company, and it took some more time than we expected, so please forgive me. Ladies and gentlemen, I assume the role during this press conference in order to express my thanks to the presidency, first of all, for having tackled an explicitly difficult subject on the first forum. The World Forum deals with climate change, energy, and it could have preferred to choose easier subjects. I'd like to thank you very much indeed. Also, I'd like to thank Jack Short for having accompanied and supported the meeting. And I would like to pass on my thanks to the city authorities of Leipzig, not presented here today, but I feel that all those who were working in the city of Leipzig and at the Leipzig Fair did an excellent job. And I hope that you, the media representatives, share my views. It was demonstrated here in Leipzig that we have long since been in a position to organize high-quality international conferences in the new federal states of Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, this is also what I would like to tell the representatives of the media. I think with the President and Jack Short, I can say that we have received a good response. It has been a very interesting and highly difficult subject we have chosen for our conference, and I feel we managed very well to convert the former CMNT into an international forum that has attracted attention on a worldwide scale. We have intended to facilitate the process of information and to arrive at common conclusions, culminating to the Copenhagen conference. Germany and Europe wanted to have concrete results from the International Transport Forum, and I'm happy that, with the exception of a few obstacles from a couple of states, we can say that we have a strong commitment. Number one, it is our aim to decouple the growth of transport from the consumption of fuel. We need sustainable strategies with regard to biofuels. Standards need to be introduced, and we need a summary and a coordination across many areas, not biofuels only. The fact that Japan supported this intention makes us especially happy, although we did not receive 100% support. And also the inclusion of the aviation industry directly into the CO2 emission was included. The question whether CO2 emission as an aim of reduction can be postulated for road transport. And I should stress that the USA contributed a different view. I regret this, but I have to respect it. But I wish that the United States, perhaps after a change of government in the White House, they might revise their position, but also because of the fact that the emission trade for the aviation and the sea transport sector can serve as an instrument, a market instrument, the US is explicitly demanding. And I hope that we can make progress with the CO2 emission in the area of the transport. The panels at least made excellent contributions to this end. Ladies and gentlemen, these are a few concrete items we would like to express despite a number of disagreements. Now it's high time to make use of these insights for preparing the next meetings and the bodies that have to take conclusions or decisions. I think we have to do something for the future generation to work in favor of more renewable energies and lower consumption rates, and to support novel technologies, which is what we have done in an excellent manner in Leipzig. Thank you very much indeed, and I am looking forward to the next conference to be held in Leipzig under the Turkish presidency next year in Leipzig.
Vielen Dank, Herr Minister. Ich spreche auf English. I'd just like to add a few things. The first thing to say is how pleased we were with the very strong participation we had. We had some of the world's best academics, we had some of the world's leading industrialists, and we had over 40 transport ministers. And of course, we had the big star with your Chancellor, Angela Merkel. And we were delighted with the strong participation and the large number of people who came. A second thing to say is how pleased we were with all the support and help we got from Leipzig. From the mayor, through his staff, through all the transport companies in Leipzig, and through all the wonderful people who helped us. We couldn't have had better support, and we are extremely grateful. And I think we have built a very good relationship with the city so that this event can be anchored in the city in future. And we'd like to thank everybody in Leipzig for that. Another thing to say is that I think we have messages that are quite strong from the ministers. It is a difficult subject, as Minister Tiefensee said, and that some of the countries are not ready to go as far as others. Nevertheless, we have a basis to go forward, and some of the issues in the key messages, some of the things we have agreed to do will make a difference. Countries have agreed, for example, to take systematic account of carbon in the future. That's a very important thing in all their transport planning. And several other things are very practical steps forward. So the key messages, I think, are a good step forward. In addition, we had, I think, very rich exchanges with industry, between industry and government, between industry and research. And we have a lot of new ideas, a lot of material. And all of this material will be put on the website as soon as we can, so that it spreads far and wide, we hope. I think one thing to say is that we had many positive examples from the transport sector of the things we can do. And we had a very good exhibition from many companies showing the things they are doing. And they are positive, and the transport sector is really trying to make a difference. Nevertheless, we do realize that the challenge is enormous. And that's why the discussions were so rich, because we don't yet know the right answers. And that's why we have to discuss in depth about the direction to go. Maybe one last remark. One of the themes that was very important across the whole conference was the recent rise in the price of oil. And many of the transport experts there and the operators expressed great concern about it. But we couldn't come to conclusions. Is this a terrible thing or is it an opportunity? So there was a lot of discussion about the impact of the price of oil on our sector in the future. So that's, I think, all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.